Hey guys, I think I'm live now. I believe I'm live now, so I'm just gonna get on talking. I'm sorry this was in no way, shape, or form scheduled, and it's been very much out of the blue. But as you'll probably know, I'm quite busy these days because of work, so I don't always know when I'm gonna be free. So anyway, in any case, it is Friday. It is Fibro Friday. It is cold because it's snowing in the UK despite it's April. And I thought I will come and do just a little video about, well, something that I'm trying to work on myself. I've been trying for some time, and I'm starting to see the benefits of it. It's still very much work in progress, like everything that we do in the chronic illness community, but I think it's of value. And if any of you could benefit from this, then I'd be happy with just knowing that one other human being tried it, and at least it helped. So I want to be addressing today the subject of positivity, and I mean the difference between making positive affirmations about oneself against the general positive toxicity that we're sometimes bombarded with when we have a chronic illness or we are in a bad spot, and that doesn't really help nobody. For those of you out there, this is not a personal attack. Please don't take it as such. I'm not saying stop being positive, or if you're a happy, joy person, take it somewhere else. That's not what this is about. What I'm trying to say is that there is a difference between, being positive in a way that is actually helping those people who may be struggling, particularly when it comes to the subject of chronic illness specifically, and a difference between just saying general positive things in the hope that things improve. Because as I often say, thoughts and prayers, they just don't really cut it. So if what you have to say is really not much more helpful than thoughts of prayers for you, it's it's not really gonna go very, very well. Hi there. So positive affirmations. Those of you who know me, who have been following this for quite some time, know that I have a tendency of saying things as I see them. So if I think something is crap, I will just say it as it is. I don't beat around the bush. I just state things as they are, whether it's a positive comment or a negative comment. The reality of events is what it is. I don't care. But it is true that sometimes, because of the way that I am, I can be a bit brutal. And a lot of the time that brutality is actually directed towards myself, which is not terribly practical when I already live with a chronic illness that is very brutal towards myself indeed. So I've been doing a lot of research about, the positive thinking mentality, not from the point of view of let's all be positive, but rather how making positive statements, particularly when you're having a bad day or when you're dealing with something which is long-term negative, can actually help us chip away on a day-to-day basis. I am not very good at complimenting myself or accepting nice things about myself. I never have been. And I think actually since I started having issues with my chronic illness, fibromyalgia causes you a lot of pain. It causes you to feel rather fragile. So feeling positive about yourself sometimes can be really hard. It's very often that we feel like we're a waste of space, or that we can't cope, or that we are hindering the development of others, annoying our social circle, etc., etc., etc. Hey there. It's very easy when you have those thoughts, when you're in pain, when you're fatigued, to get caught up in that loop, to think that everything is bleak and everything is gloom. And frankly, you're entitled to these feelings. I'm not coming here to tell you you're not entitled to feel like crap if the reality around you feels crappy. What I'm trying to say is that despite it feeling crappy, it doesn't mean that you are a crappy person. And that's where the positivity aspect of this comes into place. And I think it's something that we really struggle to grasp. Feeling crappy and having a crappy circumstance doesn't automatically mean that we are crappy people. Flipping that omelette is hard. I know that. But it's generally worth trying. I've been honestly subjecting myself to doing a lot of gratefulness appreciation. So whether it's writing it or actively saying it out loud or on social media, whatever, actively thinking of a few things every single day for which you're grateful for, which are positive, which are having an impact in your life, that makes it all better. And honestly, it is nice and it is good to being able to reflect on something positively like that. Don't get me wrong, the first time I tried that, it was an absolute nightmare. I literally spent good 20 minutes, half an hour looking at the ceiling like, is there even something that I'm grateful for today? And of course there was. I was just wrapped up in my own cynicism and just having a bad day. But for starters, I was alive. A lot of people don't have the privilege to say that. A lot of people's lives were cut short too quickly. I had a roof over my head. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have food, drink, someone that they could call, someone that they could be talking to, a phone so we could be having this conversation. There is many, many, many things for which we could be grateful and we should be grateful for. We tend to give for granted. And once we start actually realizing that there are positives in our lives, doesn't matter how crappy we feel, there is an option at least there for us to change and churn through that. I've started practicing these positive affirmations in all sorts of different contexts. To begin with, I sort of wrote them down just in a piece of paper to sort of help me realize that this was not just like delusion, that I could actually find positive things if I tried that would help me realize that there were good things inside me. So I would always try to counter things. Like even if I was feeling really bad and I started writing things like, oh, I'm fragile, I'm weak, I am in pain, I am all of these things, I would try to at least refute one of those statements per chance. Don't go all hardcore. Don't try to suddenly destabilize all of your negative views of the world, of yourself, because that would be unrealistic and a really hard thing to do. But there is always one way of doing them. And as I was working through the list, I actually realized, well, oh, hang on, I'm not so weak. I can actually do a lot of stuff. Maybe I'm just not as strong as I would like to be. That's fair. That's not so bad. That shows that yes, there is something I can improve, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's something that I can fix. It's something I can work towards. It's something that I can put myself to keep on improving. And it's important to sort of give ourselves that benefit of the doubt. If we are not kinder to ourselves, if we are not able to put these things in perspective, we are never gonna really be able to move those boulders, those thoughts that completely take over our lives once we are in pain, once we are fatigued. So I started with that. I started just by trying to challenge one single statement of all of those that I wrote. And it was actually really helpful. So then after that, I started to challenge myself. So I would actually put myself in front of the mirror and I would start finding defects, right? When you suffer from chronic fatigue, you can't help but notice that your eye bags probably drop to your jawline, that your hair maybe is not as shiny or full as it used to be, that you just look generally tired, that your muscles feel like they are constantly in tension, that you don't look good, that you may look sickly, whatever. It's very, very easy to put yourself in front of the mirror when you have a chronic illness and start tearing yourself apart. So easy. But then I decided that this mirror was going to help me find ways to, deal with these positive thoughts and actually try to give them a way forward, a solution. Okay, fine. My hair doesn't look as cool as it used to be. All right, that sucks, but there must be something I can do about it. Or there must still be something that I think would look cool in my hair that would make it look all right. So I started working again in one aspect at the time. Or, okay, my eye bags are absolutely destroying me. Oh my God, I look like a zombie. What can I do practically to improve that? What can I do to fix this issue? How can I turn that into something else, into something that I have control over, into something that will make me feel positive about myself? It is a very, very challenging exercise, but if you have the guts for it and if you're ready for it, it will honestly give you a fire to try and fix things, to help you understand that you are not helpless and that you are not hopeless. and to help you understand that, again, there is still good in you, you know? It's honestly brutal but helpful. And after that, once you start raising your confidence, because often a lot of this comes from, a confidence problem that we start losing through our struggles, daily life, and whatnot. I started just making random affirmations about myself walking around the house. So I'll be entirely on my own. No one else would be here listening to me. And I'll go like, I'm awesome. And I'll shout it across the house. And there wouldn't be a reply. But, sometimes you get a little bit of echo of your own voice. And suddenly I would be like, yeah, all right. Maybe I'm not too bad. Maybe I am a tiny percent awesome. And the more I started saying it out loud, even though there was no one else out there to reciprocate it, the more I started to realize that, hey, yes, it is true. I am awesome for many, many reasons. Sure, there are some days where I definitely don't feel awesome, but those days are not always me. That is not a true reflection of me as a person. And therefore, yes, I am awesome, at least in some capacity. So as you can see, it's work in progress. But it is powerful. It's not easy, but it is powerful. And then if you can take that powerful affirmation and then start making them in front of other people and see their reaction to you making such a positive statement about yourself, I think that's probably one of the most amazing things. Once you've reached that stage where there may be another human being in front of you, particularly if it's a human being that helps you feel vulnerable, or that helps you understand your own vulnerability, if you can have a moment like that in front of one of those people and say something positive and see their little faces light up, or a little gesture that sort of goes like, yay, they see it, they get it. It is the best feedback that you can get in the world. And you don't need anything else. You don't need positive vibes only. Oh, it will get better soon. And all of that type of crap that actually sounds really nice, but that has a constant feeling of nonsense around us, because we know, we are not getting better. Our illness doesn't have a cure. We know that it's impossible to have positive vibes only when you're in excruciating pain and stuff like that. It's a way of, realizing that positivity, like everything else, it's a double-edged sword in life. You can either take it to the literal point and just, be very cringy about it, or you can accept it for what it is. You can accept the role that it has in your life and the way that it can help you and do you. And if you do that and you manage to leverage that, you will start feeling like an actual real human being, and you will start to be able to deal with the constant emotional fatigue that we are dealing with day in and day out when you have a chronic illness of any kind, a mental illness of any kind, or simply, social problems of any kind. It is actually really powerful. Like I said, I know it is hard, and there's 1,000 things you can try out there. I'm just speaking of a few that I've actively tried and harness as things go on, to sort of give myself that credibility, give myself that power back, that I know I am still worthy of praise, worthy of positive things despite my situation. But like I said, we need to put hard work on this. Like everything with chronic illness. I know you guys are probably tired of me saying this, but you need to put in the work. I know it's super hard to put in the work when you're tired and knackered 24/7. I really, really know this. But the power is within you. It's simple as that. No one else is gonna come to change your situation. It relies entirely on you. So whether this means you need to get someone else to not coerce you, but politely try and help you to develop these situations for yourselves, whether you need to set like an alarm on your phone to remind you to try and do something like this, a routine, an actual, expert like a counselor or a psychologist, I don't care. Whatever it takes for you to be able to give that first step, allow yourself to figure that out. Allow yourself to try it out. Because the worst that's going to happen is that you lost some little time trying to do something. And at best, you will be on the road to help your own self feel better and cope with, something that I know is such a heavy burden for you. So that's all I really have to say today. I hope that makes some sense. Like I said, this is about positive affirmations that change our inside and the way we see ourselves, not about positive toxicity and stuff like that. So I hope you're not getting the wrong end of the stick. I hope that you're having a lovely weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. And for those of you with a chronic illness, particularly fibromyalgia, if you're in the UK, honestly, wrap up warm. It's going to be a brutal weekend. And I know this change of seasons is really, really nasty for us. So please take care and see you soon. Bye.